We're here to take a look at a new range of PIlote motorhomes for 2025. This is the Selection Edition, their spring collection. There are 4 models in the range, 2 low profiles and 2 A-classes. Both offer either single beds or a fixed island bed layout. The all-new range is this G720 actually, because these are 7.25 metre long A-classes at a viable 3.5 tonnes. So you only need a car driving licence to be able to drive them. And that's got a sensible, roughly about 400 kilos of payload. If you wanted some of the options, but there are only a few options available, but if you wanted some of those options, then PIlote recommends upgrading to a 4.4 tonne chassis. That will allow you to travel with all the kit and 4 people on board if you wanted to. But we're going to take a closer look at the low profile version, the P720 FC. This has got a central bed, but a couple of those options we're talking about, so let's go and take a look. I wanted to show you the low profile because it's got the black cab. This is one of the options that's included as standard as part of this Selection Edition pack. You also get 16-inch alloy wheels on both models. And then these graphics, these contour style graphics, this goes across both the low profile and the A-class ranges. As you see above, there's a black awning to match the black cab with an awning light. That is all part of the standard kit. On the A-class version, you don't get that black cab and black grille, so you do get a white awning to blend into the side rather than contrast with it, like on the low profiles. The door here has a fairly solid handle. There's no inbuilt step, but there is an electric step. The button's just on the inside. And as you can see, there is a window with a blind, a good grab handle, and a couple of storage pockets. Let's go and take a look inside.
Model is about being more off-grid, so what they've done is they've added a couple of solar panels, a 1500 watt inverter, a faster battery charger and a 200 amp hour lithium battery, and they've moved the system from the heating and hot water system from a Truma gas combi boiler to a Truma diesel combi boiler. It works off electric too, but what that does is that reduces your reliance on gas, and also it improves your electric situation. So what it does mean is you can stay away from hookup for longer. This is the control panel. It's pretty smart. You switch it on and off here, and there's other lights and switches here, but it shows you that there's power going into the battery from the solar. It also shows you the state of the battery, which is really good, and then there's a little button here that's an auxiliary power button, and that activates the electrics for both beds. So I'll go into that more in a bit of detail later, but just that is a handy switch to know you're there. There's also a cab radio cut-off switch, so it basically means you can stop the cab radio from switching off after a set amount of time. So I've just switched the cab radio off there, and if you switch it on and you want to listen to music while you're on site for an extended period of time, you can use that button. And it also shows your clean and your dirty water tank levels and whether you're hooked up, and it's the control for the water pump. So these cab seats have to be the comfiest seats in the house, especially if there's just the 2 of you on board. They've got armrests, they're shaped and supportive. The cab floor is it's a good step up, so it does mean even me, I can rest my feet on the floor, but also if there's just the 2 of you, chances are you'll have your feet on the sofas opposite. This is what they call a twin sofa lounge or a face-to-face lounge, very popular even on the continent these days, because there are various mechanisms of folding seats, which we'll show you in a bit. But basically this creates a much more open area. We've got an overcab roof light which lets in a lot of light. There are lights above the bed. There are 2 windows on either side, a window in the door, and this open plan feel with the kitchen and lounge makes it feel very spacious. And I did measure this bit, and it's 6'4" of headroom when you step down into the lounge area underneath the bed, so it's really good for tall motorhomes as well. The table swivels and slides and folds out to create dining for 4. I would suggest if there is 4 of you, some of the seats, obviously the different height in seats means that some people would prefer to sit here and some people would prefer to sit there. But yeah, it's a really nice, spacious, bright lounge area. As you see here, this is a 149 litre fridge. It's a really good size, and it's the perfect height as well. There's a freezer compartment at the top and a bottle drawer at the top. So even though this motorhome is light and airy, PIlote have used black accents all over the place to create a much more modern feel, so it's not all beige. There's this grey wallboarding, this slate grey back panel. There's this lovely curved panel with the PIlote logo, and it's also lit. And then there's black accents like the tap. This kitchen is a really good space. I was really impressed with the amount of worktop you get, because the the 2-burner hob is set all the way back here. You've got enough space for a chopping board here, so you don't have to use a lounge table if you don't want to. There's also a lid for the sink that can be used as a chopping board area as well. The tap, as I said, is black, and it's that modern style swan neck. Part of the package of this selection edition is also this coffee machine. I thought, oh, it's tucked away all in the back corner, but I was like, oh, that's a pain. But then I realised there's a lip here, there's a catch, and then it slides out, so you can access the water tank. There's also a rack for pods on the side, and then I can access the buttons a lot more easily there. So yeah, it just slides in and out, and it's on a really solid bracket, so that's good. There is a further socket on the window frame here, 3-pin and USB-C and A charger, so that's also really neat. It's a good low location, so if you wanted to have a kettle in this far corner, if you're a tea lover for example, not a coffee lover like me, you can do that. In this model the oven is an optional extra, but it is set lower down, so it's good to access it. But however, this does have one impact, because then it does limit your storage in this area. I find this cupboard's too high for me. However, there's drawers here. There's drawer, that's your cutlery drawer. There's another drawer down here, also quite small but useful space. And then there's a further slide out drawer here. It's got a bin in it. I'd probably take the bin out. I'd use it for something else. But there's not a huge amount of storage. As I say, there's space above the fridge. That's where you'll find the electric control panel and the Truma diesel combi heater settings panel. However, it's also quite high. I mean, I could just about get to these spaces if I stood up on this step, or you might want to carry an extra step if you're a little short. But yeah, it's the one thing that I'd probably want to improve in this area is the storage. I'd probably forego the oven for another cupboard down here. Where the kitchen storage is a little bit on the light side, the washroom storage can't be the same. It's got a really big cupboard behind me. If you open it, there are several shelves with retaining straps, and there's also a bottom pocket type shelf that's got a really deep lip. There's also a cupboard under the countertop basin, and also there's a hole in the side of that which shows me that that's where the loo hole holder sits. There's also a recess behind me, and the toilet it's actually not too high. It's fairly comfortable even for me. And the beauty of this washroom arrangement is once that sliding door is shut and that's shut over, you've actually got loads of leg room, even for the tallest person. The bed is currently in its low position. If you note the concertina sides, which shuts off the garage when it's in its lowest position, so you don't get drafts and stuff like that. It's a good big mattress. It's 6'6" long by 4'6" across. Plenty of space. There's side tables and there's recesses on either side, one of which has a USB A and C socket and one has a 3-point mains. As you noticed in this position, it's a really good size to sit up and read in bed. There's plenty of headroom even with the lockers above the top. There's speakers at the back which allow your cab radio to be patched in. There's spotlights. There's plenty of light in this area because there's a window on either side and a roof light above. There's also a step up for each side, makes getting into this bed easier. But even though it's an electric downy bed, and we'll show you that later, you can still lift the base. If you can see the slatted frame here, you can still lift the base to access these two corners cupboards. Really handy space, and also a big space at the back. So yeah, and then there's two drawers here. So this is the garage door. It's got really solid locks. It's got a holder thing here. Garage is actually a really good size. This is the bed in the raised position. So I've just raised it. There are twin rails along each side with flexible tie down points, so you can put them wherever you want. It's really handy. There's also a shower, so you can wash off your muddy kit if you take out bikes, mountain biking, or even if you're just out and it's a wet, muddy day. The control, as I already said, the control for the rear bed is in here. It's a little bit awkward. I'd have preferred it inside, or at least one maybe here and one inside, but it is here. There is a main socket, a really good light, and access to the freshwater cleaning hatch under that hatch in the middle there. That is an inboard tank, so it should be winterized. And there's a door on the other side. It's not quite as small as this door. This door's 1.1 meters high, so that means you should be able to get bikes in it. And also when the bed is fully up, that's also 1 meters high, so you should be able to leave your bikes there intact without having to bugger out with seats or handlebars or taking wheels off. So, because that's if your garage is a little bit smaller, that's what you have to do. But it's a good big space. Let's put the bed down though. As you can see here, this solid tambour door section, there's one on each side. That stops any drafts going in from the garage, creates a better seal between the garage and the bed above. But even with the bed in its fully lowered position, you've still got a decent amount of storage in here. While we're doing all the outside stuff, I wanted to point out these two features on this one. This is the gas locker here. As you can see, it's a good big gas locker. It's set down in a proper little tray. It's got good ventilation. There's space for two decent sized gas bottles. You might travel with one and one as a spare, but there's plenty of storage space should you need it. But however, the other neat feature is this one here. What looks like it's a skirt locker. So it's got two handles and you slide out. It's good and solid, but it's got maximum 70 kilo to payload, but that's really good for electric hookup cables, anything you need to hand, like leveling ramps. It's perfect for that, so you don't have to keep them in the cab stepwell. It's good. This motorhome's a 4-berth. It's got a drop-down double bed and it's got two fold-out travel seats under this twin sofa lounge. I think it's a 3-berth. I prefer only to use the travel seat on this side. It's got a headrest. It seems a bit more comfortable. This one's more of an occasional travel seat, I'd suggest. So a base folds up, locks into place, and then that creates foot-room at the base there. The travel seat, the seat belt's here, and the travel seat just plops out from underneath this panel. This panel gives you access to the battery, the lithium battery, and the battery charger, and some fuses. Okay, so this is what makes it a 4-berth. There's a drop-down bed above the lounge. It's got a cutout at the foot, but what that does do is that allows you access in and out even when the bed's down. The button for controlling it is above here, so all you do is press a button. And then down we go. There we go. There's a ladder. Normally stores above the bed, but I'm keeping it here, and it just slots in. So as you can see, it's a good big size. It's over 4 foot. It's proper double. It does narrow to the foot, but that allows you to get in and out of the van without having to stoop underneath. You can use the shelves at the end of the cab for storage, and there's a light above which turns itself on and off when you lower and raise the bed. To sum up, we're here in the A-class, the G720 FGJ. That means it's got the other option of floor plan with twin single beds at the back. The lounge is roughly the same. There is a flat floor from cab to lounge, so the seats are on the same height as the cab seats, so you might prefer that. It's also a lot more spacious because the cab doesn't step in from the rest of the body, so it feels a lot more spacious, and the bed actually does drop down and you will still retain an element of lounge because it drops down into the cab. You have to flip the cab seats forward, but the central section's the same, the kitchen's the same. Slightly more storage in the kitchen area because you've not got the drop down bed above the lounge, so there's a few more cupboards. You might prefer that. Some people prefer to drive an A-class or a low profile. And then at the very back there's fixed single beds above a garage. So this is the 720 FGJ model, the fixed single beds. What you see here is probably roughly what you'll get in the low profile version. So 2 single beds, step up, wardrobes on the other side, plenty of cupboards around, but that does restrict you being able to sit up in bed. So if that's important to you, look at the island bed model. Yeah, so this model here is £90,700 as standard, so that's with all the electrical stuff you see in it. The low profile versions are £82,200. The one we've just had a proper look at, that had the oven, at £580, and the uppy downy bed at £880. That's ideal, essential really if you're carrying bikes but you still want the or kit that you take out when you're on site and you still want the easy access. But you know, if you've not got lots of storage, lots of things you need to put in that garage, I'd suggest you probably don't need that option. And if you want more kitchen storage, definitely think about packing a Ramoska or cooking outside on a Kadak, because I think that oven would make much better space as a cupboard. So that's an extra £1,460 worth of options. That takes it to £83,660. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and look out for future videos coming soon.